Right. I think we're live.
I think we are.
Oh my goodness.
Are we? We are.
Well, I hope so. So hi everyone. I'm Adam again, head of marketing here at Socedo, and normally I'm joined by Asim, our CEO, but today I thought I'd bring on someone a little bit more interesting. So we have Ariana, our director of operations, who runs everything from HR to administration functions, to office management, to employee engagement, which is part of kind of our topic today. So if you're new to watching our SocedoLive broadcasts, what we're doing is 7 days of SocedoLive. So we're basically chronicling our journey into SocedoLive. We used to do this quite a while ago, and then we got away from it. Now we're coming back to it, seeing does this channel still work for marketers to attract their audience and engage them. So far, the results have been pretty good. So I want to run through those first. We're on day 4 right now, so let's see what actually happens. So on day 1, what we saw was actually really awesome right off the bat. So we had 212 viewers total look at this video so far. We had 68 live. Again, more than just kind of a webinar, and we didn't really have to promote it that much. And what we saw immediately was some lift on our social engagements. So, we're typically getting previously about 1 social engagement per post online. After we started doing the SocedoLive videos, we're at 1.5, 1.6 even. And that's likes, shares, clicks. So that's awesome. That's a 60% increase right there. And 102 website sessions, which is up about 30% week over week. That's really awesome. And then day 2 of SocedoLive did even better. We got 93 people live on this video, better than I was expecting. And now we've actually had 30 YouTube views on this video from day 2.
Oh my god!
I know, right? Right.
I don't know any of these numbers, so I'm enjoying
She's getting
this.
the treat. And we didn't do a ton to promote this either. It just sort of happened. We tweeted it a couple times, and people are enjoying it. Now our engagement rate did come down a little bit. But of course, this is social. It's kind of a moving target. But it's at least flat week over week if we look at day 2 there. And still driving a lot more website sessions than we used to. And then day 3, yesterday, we had 138 viewers total on this video so far. So we're actually getting the playback is growing a lot faster than the other ones. 65 live on that one. But what we're seeing is that our engagement per post are actually coming back up again. So we're continuing to promote content and getting people to share it. And then our website sessions are, again, staying higher than our baseline from where we've been for the past few months. So that's awesome. Now, one interesting stat I'm seeing here is that average time watched on our videos is around 48 seconds, or 48, 38, then 48. So, yeah, I don't know what the standard is. And if any of you actually have some benchmarks yourselves, or if you're seeing certain stats that in your own live videos or from other people, I'd love to hear them. So go ahead and comment on those, get your best practices, or if you know anything that keeps people in the videos longer. I don't know if 48 seconds is good or bad.
This space.
It's Ariana. They're going to stay.
It's going to be the most viewed video.
That's where we're going for. Yeah. So that's where we are right now. We're going to keep chronicling it. Again, 7 days of SocedoLive. So we'll see what happens as we pick this up again next week. But so far, it's at least looking like we're heading in the right direction. But today what I want to talk about is a trend that I'm seeing a lot on live video, which is highlighting employees. And not as much as just employees talking about the brand, but how do we actually highlight employees themselves as the brand, as what's happening behind the scenes, as what's going on. And that's something that's kind of near and dear to Ariana's heart because she does a lot of research for this for our own company. So what have you learned about best practices for engaging employees, really highlighting them?
Yeah, it's it's been a trend this year, really, this employee engagement trend. And what I've really learned is that, especially in this day and age, and especially with millennials, we want to be taken care of and we want to love our job. And a lot of us, if you work at a startup or something, you give a lot. and there's either restricted resources or, things like that. But the real value is listening to your employees, because that's what they really want. That's what I want. I want to feel heard. And so that's been really the important piece of employee engagement when I've looked at it. So, and having a company that lives and breathes your values and that you can align with have been kind of the huge things.
Interesting. So, maybe you want to share a little bit about how we're operationalizing that here at Socedo.
Yeah, so that, this past year has been huge for us in doing that. And I think, Adam, from sitting kind of on the leadership team, we kind of started to feel like, this year is going to be huge for that, because the more that you grow and the more people that you bring on, the harder it is to kind of stick to your values. And so being really clear about them, being deliberate about helping employees and being able to help them succeed is the biggest piece of it. So, one of our values has always been to be communicative, move together, and be transparent. What that really means for us is a few things. It means that everyone's collaborating. It means that there's open communication, whether that's from the leadership team or coming directly from employees to us. And what we kind of realized was we hadn't been doing that to the best of our success, because we had grown so quickly, and then we kind of just thought that everyone was always in the loop, which you can probably attest to. Yeah. And so it took a lot of brainstorming, researching on my behalf to figure out what works for us. But, we started doing little things to see, what the real changes were, because we just literally asked our team, hey, what are the problems you're seeing? How are you feeling about things? And communication kept coming up as one of the things that, we could stand to do better on. So we started doing things like a weekly digest from the leadership team, just an update to give everyone kind of, hey, here's what's happening this week. And then we started, doing things like question of the week is what we started it as, and it was just an anonymous question every week that we sent out to the team, and we would ask their opinions on, like, hey, what do you think of this new tagline we're using in marketing? And what it ended up turning into was we ended up starting to use a platform called Peakon, which is an employee engagement system. And basically what it does is it sends out a survey every week to every single employee, and it helps us kind of measure every week how the team's doing, and it allows us to collect feedback every week in a really efficient and smart way. And so we're able to see kind of what the team is giving us feedback on.
Yeah. And I think what's, you highlighted one of the examples that I was going to mention, so thanks.
Yeah.
But, so it's really this whole idea of moving together and being transparent with what we're doing. It has trends across the organization, but I've benefited the most, I think, selfishly in marketing. And, you talked about how we asked the company about our new tagline. And it's something as simple as poking holes in the grammar of it, to even, what were the sales team hearing on calls when we were using that type of language versus something else? Or for customer success's perspective, what did customers expect from us when we called ourselves a lead generation solution versus a social media management solution? Those are different things, and customer success was on the front lines with hearing some of that feedback. And so we were able to really incorporate that into our marketing process.
Well, that's like a great example too, because I think you got quick feedback immediately, and I think half the team responded to that question of just hey, what do you think of this tagline? And I was honestly surprised, because even when we got our Peakon platform, I was no one's going to participate in this. I was a little bit nervous about that. But honestly, it just goes back to that. People want to be heard. People want open communication. And that's why we've really driven that home as a value.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
And I think this is paralleling really nicely a marketing trend that's happening, right? And again, not to use this buzzword too much, but authentic marketing is really kind of the main trend that's happening right now in marketing. And this whole idea of, buyers, whether it's B2C, B2B, whether they're experienced buyers or junior level buyers, they want to know the brand that they're buying from. They want to be engaged by them, and they want to actually hear the truth from them. We live in a time where you're just bombarded with marketing messaging, and that's our fault in marketing, right? So now we have to start cutting through that noise and be more personal with people. And if we really want to stand out from the crowd, we have to actually show who we are. We have to put some of our cards on the table like we haven't really had to do before. And a lot of that means kind of taking a peek behind the curtain showing our company, really highlighting ourselves. And I think it's less about employee advocacy from the standpoint of, hey, marketing has all these messages, now go tweet these for us. And I think it's a lot more about actually telling the people behind the brand, telling their stories. What is product working on and why? Why is Pete, our chief product officer, passionate about what they're working on right now? Hopefully we'll have him on a video here soon. Highlighting Ariana, she just talked about one of our company values. How often do you hear that from other companies, right? It's not as often, but I think we're going to start to see it more and more because that's what people care about.
Yeah, and I think that's part of the trend of why you go on so many websites now, and it's like, learn about our team, right?
Yeah,
and I mean, when I, do the finance piece of my job, even sending an invoice to people, there's people I know on a first name basis, and I'm like, hey, how were your holidays? It's like when you're kind of in this realm, like getting to know people and caring about the people that you work with, as whether it's a customer or a fellow employee, I mean, that's huge, right? And they care that you care about your values and that you care about your company and your brand.
Right. One brand doing it really well is Marketo, actually. So if you haven't seen, they're doing Facebook Live, not Twitter Live.
Oh.
We'll see. But they've been doing Facebook Live videos for a while now, and each one is just set up like an interview, kind of like we're doing right here, very conversational. But they're just interviewing. It's not marketing. It's not about their product. It's about what they're working on as a company and what expertise can they share through what they're learning every day in their jobs. And that's really cool. So go check them out on Facebook. Really love their stuff. But I think we're going to see more and more of this. I think HR and marketing are going to partner together in a very meaningful way in 2018. That's my prediction. You can count on that. But thanks, Ariana, for joining me today.
Thank you for having me.
This. We'll see if it works or not. The stats will tell us. We'll be back on Monday to chat about these stats and what we're doing for the rest of the week. So please join us and follow along to #SocedoLive.
Retweet. Tell your friends.
Yeah, come join us on this crazy ride. All right, thanks, everyone.